California today has a reputation as a foodie capital of the world. It has an origin back even prior to the gold rush from the Mexican Californio culture and the introduction of certain kinds of foodstuffs. But it totally changed during the California gold rush. And then all of these people, overnight, California became the most ethnically diverse place on earth. And they brought with them all of their different foodstuffs and different kinds of cooking techniques. The California gold rush brought to California a bunch of young guys teenagers and early 20s, who didn't know how to cook and didn't want to cook, and it ended up leading to very bad nutrition. And if you look at the historical record of the time period, there are stories of sumptuous feasts, but there's a lot of stories, particularly in the gold fields, of the fact that people did not eat properly. There are many, many accounts of scurvy, for instance, that takes place. There are stories of young people who didn't know how to cook or cook badly, who end up eating a kind of gruel or this mixture of flour that they would heat on the blades of shovels, that they would cook, a kind of fry bread almost, that led to terrible nutrition. Many, many gold rushers ended up sick from poor nutrition. And one of the most startling statistics, I think, of the entire gold rush period is the fact that of all the people who came to California during the gold rush, almost 20% of them died within 6 months of arrival. And a lot of that was from nutrition, not just accidents, not just violence, but from the fact that medical treatment was bad or their systems were so depleted that they got very, very sick. And so today, when we have this reputation for this food capital of the world, I think that a lot of that comes from a reaction to the fact that this burst of population who came here ate very poorly, and they tried to make up for it by trying new things and using fresher ingredients. And I think it led to, quite early on, by the 1870s and 80s, and it became an experimental culture that still has ramifications and impacts all the way to the present day. I think it has a start, though, with a reaction to the very poor nutrition in the beginning. On my mom's side of the family, they came here to Grass Valley to live as part of the Okie migration. They were poor, and my grandmother was an extraordinary cook, and she could do anything with virtually nothing. And so what we used to do when I was a kid is we used to come out to Bithany Springs Road and go to Deer Creek, and we would gather watercress. And she would make that into a meal. I mean, she would make a gourmet meal out of sliced tomatoes and fried potatoes and watercress. That was fabulous.